Sean O'Malley makes the first title defense of his career against Marlon Chito Vera. This is the rematch, the fight we've all been waiting for. I think it's the perfect fight for O'Malley for his first title defense, folks. Everyone's hating on this fight. I think it's perfect. If you've become the champion and you know the biggest fight in the division is against someone who's already beaten me, I'm going to make a lot of money from it, take it. I would want to avenge a loss if I was him. Now, I think it's a good fight. However, I know O'Malley is okay with making fights boring. We've seen it in the Aljo fight. He was waiting for Aljo to make a mistake. One thing I do respect about O'Malley is he is actually phenomenal. And I think people think he's very underrated. He's a fucking top level athlete. He's a phenomenal striker. He's got grappling. He's tough. But he's okay with making fights boring, as a lot of these high level strikers are. It's just what happens. They know they can coast a win sometimes. O'Malley is a finisher because he's got good power for bantamweight. But Marlon Vera's game, I must admit. People are picking Vera. O'Malley's a heavy betting favourite, but I'm not gonna lie. Vera might be a good pick because we haven't ever seen Sean O'Malley past the third round. Maybe that's his ability, but he's only been in one 5-round fight and it ended in 6 minutes, you know, so I'm going O'Malley. I must admit, I'm going O'Malley, and you're going to be I might go O'Malley by submission, folks. There's a few ways I think this fight's going to play out, and I think O'Malley might try wrestle him later in the fight. I think O'Malley might take a round and a half, 2 rounds on the feet, then be like, I'm just going to grab this cunt. I'm just going to grab him. I think O'Malley takes him down in the later rounds. Because Chito grows as the fight goes on. And I heard Tim Welch say there's a good chance O'Malley wrestles in this fight. I think, watching the Sandhagen performance, someone a similar size to O'Malley, dismantle Vera like that with striking and grappling, it makes O'Malley a scarier threat for people in the future, seeing he can grapple. With his coach saying it's a good chance you'll see a grappling and maybe a submission. Here's how I've got a few ways I think the fight could go. I think O'Malley KOs him early, right? This is one of the 3 ways I have in my head. O'Malley hurts him bad and literally does a number on him, maybe with a knee or something to the body, big kick to the body. I think it hurts him early in the first 1 or 2 rounds. Because he does have that power. Regardless of you guys want to say about Vera's chin, everyone can be knocked out. Everyone's human. If you cut me, I'll bleed. It's the same with every human being. Or O'Malley by decision, which seems to be the favourite one because Vera's difficult to finish, O'Malley's elusive, but Vera grows as the fight goes on. I would not put it, but I might put a bit of money on O'Malley by submission after round 2. Vera would not be expecting it. O'Malley maybe could lock up a guillotine. He's very got long arms, could squeeze a guillotine in, or a rear naked choke, something like that. I feel like a rear naked choke is a good one to go for. Because I feel like O'Malley's not going to want to let Vera grow into a fight. And if Vera starts finding any success on the feet, obviously I think O'Malley's going to want to keep it on the feet and just batter him because that's what the fans want to see. That's what O'Malley's comfortable doing. But if it starts going a few ways, O'Malley's got a few tricky trips, a few tricky takedowns. And imagine O'Malley shoots a double leg, gets on top of him and goes for the ground and pound. I would not put it past O'Malley to wrestle this man in the slightest. And that's just from things I've heard. It's from me being a little bit of a tactician, sitting looking back at Vera's performances. He stands quite square on, a bit more easy to take down. I would not be surprised if O'Malley takes Vera down and starts landing elbows on him. Because can you imagine this fight ends with brutal elbow TKO, the same way the first one ended? Imagine the storyline. Imagine how massive it would blow up. And I feel like if there was an opportunity there, O'Malley would say, I'm going to finish this guy with elbows the same way he got me the first time. But I must admit, it could be a very boring fight. It could be O'Malley doing his feints, his elusive things, head movement, jab, right hand, leg kick after that. Vera skimming a few shots, maybe landing a few up close, O'Malley breaking off, doing that thing he does. So he switches stances when he breaks off, then he kind of looks at you like a bit funny. Like, oh, that's nothing, mate. Why even try that, you know? Marlon Vera could have success. He grows as the fight goes on. He starts finding shots. It's very difficult to read Sean O'Malley. It's a very difficult fight for Vera. You might want to hope O'Malley maybe gets a little bit tired, a little bit not focused, because it's very difficult to stay focused for 25 minutes, especially against a guy that's as tough as Vera. O'Malley might take a round off in round 3 or 4, then blitz him in the 5th, win 4 rounds maybe. Jason Perillo, Chito Vera's coach, said, look, Chito's experience in wars is going to play a massive factor in this fight. If Chito keeps walking at you, he's going to get knocked out. I do not care what you say. O'Malley's got that snappy inside right hook that he hit Julian Paiva with up against the cage. I honestly think O'Malley is going to murk this guy. I think O'Malley is going to murk this guy early. And if he doesn't, he's going to submit him. I do not see this going the distance. I know the MMA guru, Lucas Tracy, stuff like that, say it's going to be a really, really boring fight. O'Malley is okay with making fights boring. I get that. I can see it being a boring fight too until there's a knockout. Or until there's a knockdown. Do you get what I mean? I think O'Malley is going to murk him. I think he's going to give him a lesson on striking. I think O'Malley's going to be too fast. Vera's going to look to make a move and he's going to get clipped from... O'Malley shows his shots from below. You can't shoot. Vera has his guard like this and he chases you with punches. You can see that. You can see the shot. If you're jabbing someone from below, you're like, start stepping up. It's very difficult to get a read, and it's the shots you don't see coming. When I was out in Thailand fighting, I was hit with one massive shot I did not see coming, and I was like, blah. And if the guy had followed up, I probably would have been in trouble, but I'm absolutely fine. Fresh as a daisy, yeah? Look. Also, I need to shave that. Sorry, folks, that's disgusting. Anyway. I've got O'Malley schooling the guy. I think, but to be fair with Vera, I think Vera actually is going to come in. I think he's going to come in the best of his career. I also think he's going to start fast. I think Vera is going to put the pressure on O'Malley early, throwing stuff and giving O'Malley something to think about. Because when you're a bit more basic, you don't really have as much to think about or as much tools in the box as O'Malley does. But O'Malley's using words this time of like, I'm going to put on a masterclass. I'm going to put on the performance of a lifetime. When I go out there and put on the performance I'm going to put on. O'Malley's very confident, but he's also saying this is going to be maybe the toughest fight of my career just because of how tough this guy is and how mentally O'Malley cannot get broken by this man still being there. Because it's like Nate Diaz. He's always there, but Chito Vera's face doesn't bruise. He doesn't get cut. He's got strong skin. That's why I'm saying a submission might not be off the cards. Towards the end of a round, take him down, the same way he did to Peter Yan. But the only issue is that I wouldn't want Sean O'Malley to do that early in the fight in case his arms give out and in case he's like, wow, I don't really grapple in MMA fights now, my arms are dead and my stutter step isn't as fast, I'm not as sharp. O'Malley's very good at pacing himself as well. You know, we see his fights go on, he paces himself lovely, he's very careful with how he paces himself. I've got Sean O'Malley murking this guy with submission or a knockout. I think submission would come after the second round. I think knockout would be in the first two. A snappy, fast right hand or right hook. But I would love a knee. I would love to see a flying knee or something like that at the end of the round. Put him out. I'm thinking about it now. I think O'Malley can finish it early. I mean, people say about Vera's toughness. He's unbelievably tough. O'Malley's different though. His power is different. He's very tricky to deal with and you don't see shots coming against him because he's so fast and he throws them from his hips and it's shots you would not expect someone to be able to land from a certain angle and distance. People are saying decision. I've got O'Malley by knockout. TKO knockout. I don't think you're going to finish Vera against the cage. I think you're going to finish him on the ground if it's a TKO. Just give Vera, he can't go anywhere. Then he turns his back, then you submit him. I think O'Malley finishes him though. I know people think it's going to be a boring fight. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be boring because O'Malley allows fights to be boring until the big thing happens. Like the Aljo fight was terrible. Terrible fight in the first round and then O'Malley knocks him out cold in the second round. That's all anyone talks about. Do you understand what I mean? So O'Malley's distance control, the way O'Malley can knock people out going backwards is massive for this fight. I've got Sean O'Malley. It's annoying though because I would love to live stream this card. However, I've got work in the morning of it. I might still live stream it. I could sit here, do a wee live stream, which I think I might do. But I've got work the day of. I've got work at like 9 a.m. and the card won't finish until about 7 a.m. So I'm going to be in the worst mood all night. But anyway, I love these lots. I'll do a live stream for the card. Very excited. I've got Sean O'Malley murking the guy. I think Vera can pose problems, rough him up a little bit, but I think it's going to be difficult for Vera to get close to him. Body kicks are going to be massive for Vera, but he's a bit slow. Vera needs to just grab him and in the clinch, hold him up against the wall, hammer fist to the shin, stuff like that. God, I don't know. It's difficult, but Vera could shock the world. O'Malley's a little bit of a favourite. I've got O'Malley winning, brutalising the guy. And I know you think Vera can't be knocked out, but if you cut him, he will bleed. Do you know what I mean? So see you all in my next video. Full card breakdown before the fight's obviously on Saturday. See you all very soon.